So Marshall, thank you again for supporting my book, for writing the testimonial, which appears on the front cover. It's very special for me. And, I'd like to get your thoughts on the book.
Well, look, I love what you're doing. Beyond the book, you talk about the book as a movement, the E5 movement. I like that whole concept of movement. We've been discussing that in my life. It's been a great way for me to think about what I'm doing in my life. I like the idea of the E5 movement. What I also love about your book is, number one, it's very practical. And number two, you as a leader yourself talk about real life experiences. It's not abstract, it's not theoretical. It's very, very real. You've been a leader in sports, you've been a leader in business, and you've been a leader across cultures. So I think it's a great opportunity for people. I'd read it. It's very practical. It's very useful. It's got some things that they can use and pretty much apply immediately at work, at home, and in life.
Thanks so much, Marshall.
Who is the new you that you want to create as you journey through life? And again, I'm a Buddhist. Buddhist said every time I take a deep breath, it's a new me. Think about it. Who is the new you want to create? If you don't change your identity, even if your behavior changes, it doesn't work very well.
Well, there are 5 E's. The book is made up of 5 E's, the elements of exceptional leadership. So I'll just share those with you. The first one is envision. Envision. The great leaders that I've observed and studied over history and those who I've had the pleasure to work with were very good at crafting a vision which touched the hearts and the minds. And this is, in the book I talk about this. A lot of us as leaders fall in the trap of focusing mainly on the what and the how. But what we discover is that the exceptional leaders speak a lot more about the why and less about the what and the how. And so that was one kind of aha moment for me. And in the book, I talk about envision and how to craft a compelling vision. And of course, the what to watch out for when you're crafting your vision as well. So that's the first step. And a lot of leaders, I would say the more intellectual leaders around us are pretty good at this. The challenges they tend to have, though, is that the vision becomes too grand and it's not digestible. So it becomes 14 slides on a PowerPoint. And that's not a vision. A vision should be succinct, laser sharp. And, we talk about elevator proof, probably even shorter than that. It needs to be so sharp and so clear, and it has to contain the why. And that's the first most important step to becoming a game-changing leader, is coming up with a vision which is compelling. Secondly, once you've done that, next it's about expressing that vision. So express. And leaders who are good on the stage and good at the microphone do really well at this. But the challenge is those leaders tend not to spend so much time on the first E, the envision. Right? They just want to get on the stage and get out there and talk about it. So it's really important that you have a well-crafted vision. And then, of course, getting out and sharing it. Now, sharing it in our current world is not just about getting on stage. I talk about in the book about the omni-channel strategy to expressing your vision, how we need to leverage every form of touch point and contact that we can, including social media, of course, but there's so many ways. It goes back to maybe my experience in education that there are 7 different kinds of learners, right? And so we need to address the different kinds of learners to ensure that everybody gets it. Because that's one of the frustrating points for a lot of leaders is no matter how much I talk about the vision, people just don't get it, they don't absorb it. And so I give you some tips on how to express effectively. And of course, we see lots of examples over history. Martin Luther King Jr. was a great example by simply starting his speech with, "I have a dream." He immediately had the entire audience. Now that may seem like a small thing, but there are some really important lessons that can be learned by the leaders who were very good at expressing their vision. Then the third E is about excite. And this is really important. This is the turning point. You can have a well-crafted vision, you can get out there and do the omni-channel strategy, but if people don't get excited, then the vision never comes to life. And this is an important moment. This is not necessarily about charisma. It's not about being, loud and flashy. It's more about pushing the right buttons so that people are inspired to action. And the proof in the pudding comes when the teams are keen and eager to move, to stand up, to get up off their seats and go, and they start using language like, when can we start? Let's do this. They start raising their hands saying, I want to lead this. That's when you know you're well on your way. So that moment of excite is very important. And the fourth one is enable. And I will tell you, in my own leadership journey, this is the stage that I'm at. I'm really focusing a lot of my energy on enabling. Enabling for me is about ensuring that your teams have the tools they need to bring the vision to life. Okay, so you've got a well-crafted vision, you've expressed it in an omni-channel way. People are excited about it. They're talking about it at the chai shop, at the water cooler. I mean, they're texting each other and they want to be involved and they think it's cool. You've painted a picture of what the world will look like when this vision comes to life. And this is where a lot of leaders fall flat, because a lot of leaders, as I've observed, will say, all right, I've given you everything, now go. And then it doesn't come to life. And so talk about what enabling really means. Enabling is about tools. It could be technology, but it's not only about tools. It's actually about creating a platform, an arena where people can shine. And shining sometimes means experimenting, trying, falling down, the freedom to fall down, the freedom to get back up and try again. In other words, the enabling leader also needs to be careful not to get in the way. So create the environment, the arena for people to shine, and then get out of their way, let them go. And again, in enabling phase, this is where a lot of leaders fall in the trap of micromanaging. We're even seeing that now, particularly in this COVID crisis, where people are packing calendars with managers are packing their team's calendars with Zoom calls and review meetings and so on. Sometimes by giving the space, you actually let people spread their wings and fly and shine. So enabling is really about all of that, creating an environment, a culture where people can shine. Then the final one, let's face it, the moment of truth. All the 4 E's are nice if you get them right, but the final E is the ultimate measurement of success, and that's to execute, to bring the vision to reality for measurable impact. In a business environment, we can measure simply by the output. But I'm a strong believer, and anybody who works with me knows this. And it took a while, by the way, in India for my teams to get used to me. But I don't start meetings with numbers. I don't start meetings with spreadsheets. I want to finish the meeting with the spreadsheet, because I believe the output, the outcome, is a direct result of having the right vision that's been expressed in a way that people are excited about it. They've been able to bring it to life. And then when you have the right people in the right seats with the right support, the right culture, the right strategy and leadership, it's inevitable that they will go ahead and execute and bring the vision to life.